2, we will call the Ordinance Committee meeting to order. Thank you all for coming. We do have a quorum. You have your paperwork in front of you. We have 3 agenda items that we need to discuss tonight. The first one is we need to discuss some changes to our subdivision ordinance. You have an email in your binders or in your packets. It has Ms. Doty's name at the top, but this is what Ben is going to review with us. Basically, Ben has been reviewing all of our subdivision submittals himself in lieu of sending them to Blue Wing Civil for some time now. Most of those are classified as minor subdivisions, meaning they have 5 lots or less. He has some suggestions that he would like us to make to our subdivision ordinance. Tonight we're going to review those for consideration and whether or not we would like to add them to our ordinance. This is not to create any hardship for any property owner in any situation for land being divided or anything of that nature. This is just to help us avoid any future situations that might occur. So I'm going to turn the floor over. I've already read this. I'm going to turn it over to Ben. He's going to review the suggestions he would like us to consider. So I'll turn it over to him. So he's going to be reviewing what he put in your email, and he's going to also refer to the big plat copy that he just made us as well. So if you'll give him his attention, and he'll go over the suggestions he would like us to consider for that ordinance.
Okay, we have a plat that was submitted by Todd, and he's here, and I really appreciate him coming. Hopefully he can say a few words about it. But it's just a good example to kind of talk about our subdivision ordinance. And I know we've added some language in the ordinance specifically to comply with sanitation. But ultimately, my goal today is kind of to gather information on what's the ordinance committee's ultimate desire with some of these subdivision ordinances. Again, like Corey said, keeping in mind, I mean, when these subdivisions are created and houses are built, so that's growing the parish. We don't, my goal is not to, slow that down. But, it does create increased demand to our roadway ditches ultimately. Every lot that's created is going to have a driveway. It's going to, that's going to basically create a levee. And if there's a house pad, that's another hill, that's another obstacle. And so some of these subdivisions that were previously just had some natural drainage, maybe horizontally or to the rear of the lot, whatever, as those get developed and those driveways get put in, house pads, a lot of times the land gets reworked, the lot gets reworked, and it gets pushed back to the road. And so the road ditch now has water that's receiving that it never had before. And I don't know that we could, I don't know that I'm asking necessarily to do some substantial change that would make a undue burden. But I just want to kind of put that backdrop in everyone's mind when we talk about this. So the one that we have before us is plat. A couple of things that were brought up, and one is the lot 1D. It's the narrow frontage that abuts the road, Helios Road. And out of concern for future development, having only 20 foot of frontage could hinder that lot from getting a driveway or getting a sewer permit or those kind of things. And one way to be looked at is it's not the jury's problem. Or another way to look at it is we want to have these ordinances in a way such that it preserves those lots that they are developable. They can get a driveway permit. They can get a sewer discharge permit, and those kind of things. And that's where I'm just not sure what the committee's wishes are. And the ordinances are kind of silent. This particular subdivision, it was previously divided. You can see kind of in the light color, it was lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, and now it's kind of like rebroken up. So basically, it's redividing something that was already divided. And in our subdivision ordinances, there's very minimal requirements for a minor subdivision, which is 5 or less. And so something that we may to consider is kind of putting a limit on when something gets divided multiple times or compounded, because we don't want there to be a way for someone to develop a large piece of property, develop a lot of lots, 5 at a time, redividing them over and over again. But I would like if the committee would let Todd come up here, kind of talk about this particular subdivision. He's been in transportation for 30 plus years, been a surveyor probably since very young. I think he could add a lot of value just about general information about subdivision, dividing property. We talked on the phone a little while earlier today, and I've talked to Lance about this too. The jury and the ordinance committee make the ordinances, and from what I understand from Lance, y'all could set some requirements, and anything outside of that, y'all could just approve on a case-by-case basis. So if y'all felt compelled to do a certain requirement or an ideal requirement and something, every situation different. If there was a unique situation, those could be brought forth case-by-case basis and be approved. So I don't know that if some changes are made eventually to the ordinances, that it just completely locks out the jury from ability to approve these things as they see fit. But for like Todd, I think it's important that clarity is in the ordinance because it gives him guidance. It gives the landowner guidance. And I think ultimately it helps them get those subdivisions that they need. So, Todd? Okay.
Is this open face subdivision when it comes to the road?
So I pulled up the elevations on it, Byron, and it looks like it mostly flows from left to right.
Okay. This Wither Road, I put that old boy's deal where you had to keep a levee back there, and it goes back to the northwest corner drain, but it's not in the ordinance because you would have flooded the people across the road. This here, this drain the roads. I think these open face, if we run into them, should have a levee put back there and let it go to its natural drain where it normally drains. Gilson Road. Now, you get them big rains, all that field back there comes between them houses, and that road is underwater in no time with a field rain.
Well, the ordinance does. The ordinance does.
Drain to the northwest corner.
Yeah.
And that's where it hit a drainage ditch and go out. If they had a levee they could mow, you keep that field from coming through. You keep it off our road that way.
So the ordinance does currently require that a 5-foot drainage easements be included around all the lot lines. And so like in this scenario, if the water would break and some of it would go towards the road and some of it would go towards the back of the lots, which ultimately is probably going to occur when you put a driveway and house pad, you're gonna change the natural drainage from left to right, and you're gonna change it to the road and to the rear of the lot. That having that, which is great, having that drainage easement preserves the ability for that water to continue to the right, like in this scenario, which is great. So.
I don't have anything to add really to what Ben said, but ultimately you people decide whether or not you're going to approve something. Okay, and so guidelines are important, and you seem to have some already. But I'm willing to answer any questions about this particular subdivision. So let's start with this lot 1D over here. He just wants to, in fact, I didn't even need to label that lot because it's really not even part of the subdivision. The subdivision, although it is a remainder, it is less than 3 acres.
It's greater.
It's greater than 3 acres. So it is a remainder, but I'm just focusing on lot 1A, 1-2B, and lot 1-2C. I guess the only reason I got 1D there is for if they want to do any legal work, when Don wants to sell it to his sister or whatever, But, therefore,
okay.
there's no 60-foot frontage on that one.
Yeah, and that's my question. What's, if I'm reading this right, what's to the north of 1D? Who owns that little section that's
It's
not?
another landowner. It's another landowner. It's not him.
So,
Okay, so my question then becomes, and tell me what this width of this section coming up, because I know there's 2 5-foot drainage easements.
Yep.
So what's the width of that little strip?
it's 20 foot minus the 5 on either
So
side,
you
so it'd
got
be 10 foot net.
10-foot length.
Well, property line to property line, it's 20 feet. There's an existing culvert there now. He's utilizing it. It's not like he needs to add one to get there. So, just so happens, there's already a culvert across that 20 feet. So he has access.
Yeah, but I mean, man, that's, normally what we're doing now is 60-foot right-of-ways.
Yeah,
So to me, I don't see how,
for permit approvals, right?
right,
So
but, I mean,
if you don't need to approve a permit for this lot 1D, how does that concern him or you?
well, how's, I mean, that's not enough to access anything. If he ever decides to sell that, I mean, I don't see who would buy
Well, that's
that.
his problem. I told him the same thing. He says, I just want to leave 20-foot strip. I can get in right now. And so I marked it off. I said, here's your 20 foot. I said, yeah, I can use that and I can get in that hay. It's a hay field is all it is. So
Well,
it's almost like a right of way, but it's fee title to the still to that property. Now, if you don't want to, if you're saying he's going to be required to move that line over, that's fine. Tell me how many feet. If it's 60 feet, I don't see why you need to make it 60 feet, because like I said, it's only a driveway to the back.
But then, I mean, so,
And
Lot
yes, he would
1D.
be prevented from ever getting a building permit back there.
how's that?
He would be prevented from
Yeah.
ever getting a building permit back there.
Okay, because that's my thought. So he has no intention of doing anything with Lot 1D other than the hayfield? Because, I mean,
I advised him of that.
okay, because, that's my only concern. I mean, I don't want us to do something and then later on they sell this and then the new owner says, well, I can't access it because I only got 20 feet and you're telling me I got to have 30 or 60 or 40 or whatever.
Well,
You better do his homework before you
I
buy
know.
it.
But
I agree with you.
in every case, you're not going to be able to take care of their possible future need. At some point, they're responsible for their decisions.
Which way is your water drain, Todd?
Well, it's hard. It's so flat, you can't hardly tell. It doesn't drain to the back. It doesn't drain to the southeast because that's a crawfish pond right there. Some of it may fall off to the west side. See, it's kind of on a ridge there because there's a Broadmoor ditch cut on the west side, and then Highway 26 also flows water back toward Broadmoor. So it's kind of, on a high spot.
That road floods too.
West, right?
Huh?
You should go to Broadmoor to the west, right?
There
No,
is.
it needs to go east. That's the way that.
Highway?
Yeah, that's the way that.
But right here, it's draining east.
Yes.
Here.
And that's why we just dug that ditch. So
So, I mean, but does he even, if he's not, my fear of Lot 1D is if we mark that out as such, then,
Well, I can scratch out 1D. I can scratch that out, and it's not even a lot considered in here, right? Because it's not part of what he wants to subdivide, technically.
So I talked to Lance and he's not here today, and I don't want to overspeak out of turn for him, but what my understanding from Lance is, if you take a property and you divide any of it less than 3 acres, the whole thing becomes part of subdivision. Even this, like this remainder lot 1D. So lot 1D, I think Todd did do right and put it in bold, put the drainage easement around it. I think that was done correctly.
Well, that's what it used to be. That's what I always did.
Yeah.
Ben and I have been having discussion back and forth about this kind of stuff. And so, yes, my original understanding was that would be a lot.
well then to me, that's not enough.
Is there a culvert area in that
There is a culvert there.
What size culvert's there? I mean,
I don't know,
You know what the
probably,
length of
probably
it is?
18 or something, I didn't check.
Yeah, 18 feet wide? Or no?
No, 18 feet.
Diameter.
I don't know how wide it is, but it's about 20 feet.
Okay. I mean, it's possible that when they turn, they, you know, the
There's your field.
the radius may cross the property line a little bit. I mean, it's probably very tight,
How long has
Yeah.
the culvert been there?
What is that?
How long has the culvert been there?
probably a long time.
Oh, a long time.
Okay, so, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this approval of this plat can be independent on discussions about possibly changing the ordinance in the future, or what's the jury's desire. It was just a very good example to kind of bring up some topics that I just want the committee to be thinking about.
I agree with you, really and truly, okay, about the 60 feet. But earlier discussions that I've had with Ben was we didn't need to worry about subdividing the remainder, okay? Y'all approved a Cratzer subdivision not long ago, right? Or have they brought it to them yet? Have they brought it in yet? They may not have even brought it to you. If not, that, I understand. Because all the lots were larger than 3 acres, they were 6 acres each, right? Except one, which was like 1.5 acres. Well, I was gonna take this 40 acres and make a complete subdivision out of the whole piece, even though only one lot was less than 3 acres. And Ben's thinking, you know what? Just do a subdivision of that one lot. I said, okay, but technically, your ordinance says I gotta make the whole thing a subdivision. So I'm like a cat chasing my tail. I don't want to throw anything in here that, it's not up to me, it's up to y'all. I'm just gonna do what y'all say, is basically it. So if you don't like 20 feet, then does it have to be 60 feet? If it does, I'll just tell the client it moves everything. You know, it's lot 1D, a required lot, and does it have to meet all the same, requirements as the other lots? Even though he don't even care if that's a lot, he just soon leave that out.
And that's something that could be, you know, it would probably be helpful if it was, you know, clearer in our ordinances. You know, if that lot, the remainder, if it's over 3 acres, whether or not it's required to meet the same
I don't think it is,
subdivision requirements.
because about 2 or 3 years ago, we made a revision to the ordinance. If y'all remember that. I was in here talking to you about it. It was a 200-acre field, guy wanted to cut out an acre to make a lot for his Mexicans.
But I like Lance said, and like I said earlier, if just because the ordinance outlines something, I think the jury has the full authority to approve it, even if there's something, you know, slightly outside of that. And that doesn't reflect that there's a change in the ordinance. It just reflects that, you know,
Yeah, it
based
was
on
an
that
exemption.
condition, y'all approved it.
Yeah, it was an exemption to it, and I understand that. I just, you know, 20 feet is not enough, in my opinion. So, and the reason why I've always thought of 60 feet, that's what we're requiring now if we're gonna put a road right away in,
Yeah.
is 60 feet.
But the sanitation requirement is 60 feet to discharge to the road.
To the road.
Because they don't want more than one pipe every 60 feet, basically,
Yeah.
sewer pipe.
But these lots gonna be 29 feet wide, because there's a map right here.
No, it's 176. Look at, yeah, 176 wide each.
Okay.
Now, the first one's only 86.
Probably what he would do here is go ahead and go the required width for what I'm calling lot 1D, and then split the difference in the other two lots.
In the other two lots, yeah.
That's probably what he would do.
I mean, this is just an oddball.
Yeah, but I'm finding that they're all oddballs.
Yeah.
I do a lot of them, and there's never one the same as the
So the property, like where your writing's at, so it would be to the south of that line. That's a different landowner as well?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Todd, that 1A, is that the one with the barn on it? Does it have a barn on it? It's just.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the family house is in where lot 3 is at, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
They
So
just
all
sold
this is
that.
behind the family
That's
house?
on you, Jeff.
Yeah, they just sold that house.
I was about to ask you, I thought it was for sale.
Yeah, I knew
yeah, someone
it was
bought
up for sale for,
But they didn't sell the barn with it, though.
No,
They
it
look
was
like-
on a different lot. If you had the other subdivision, the original one, there's a line between them, I'm pretty sure. Anything else y'all see on here that you want to, okay, the drainage, y'all want to talk about the drainage for a second? So Ben talked to me about the drainage, and we're forcing, for these people to have, well, they gotta be able to drain their sewage to the front, right, to the public ditch.
road.
Public ditch is
Yep.
the requirement. So, we have these drainage easements along the side lot lines, and we make them go to the public ditch. So, our land is pretty flat around here, but if it weren't, and if it naturally wanted to drain to the back, if it's significant, then they have to do something like either, as far as drainage goes, not just sanitary sewer drainage, but water drainage.
It's actually over here.
I mean, it would still drain where it's draining now. There's nothing to stop that. And you know what I mean? Because the natural flow goes where the natural flow goes. They're not gonna be able to take a backyard that's 2 foot low and gravity drain it all the way to the front.
no.
You can't. You can cut yourself a ditch, but that doesn't mean the parish is gonna cut their ditch to drain your yard.
Yeah.
So that's another common sense thing that I don't think is a problem. I don't think is going to be an issue there. Because naturally, it should keep draining where it's draining, unless somebody builds a levee back there.
Ben, can you pull it up on that computer or on the screen? I mean, I could do it on my phone probably.
Now, sanitary sewer, that's different. They may have to pump it.
Yeah.
We got pumps. But you just talking about that's no water to speak of.
So there is a culvert there, I can see that culvert. There's two of them right next to each other with a short ditch in between them.
So Ty, the division of this, how many lots was the parent lot? So there's 3, and now it's 4?
Well, actually, they're just dividing up lot 1 and 2 now. Lots 1 and 2 of the original subdivision.
So what,
Lot 3 is not being touched.
okay. So lot 3 is up at 26 then.
This is the,
There may be another lot up in there, Steve, I'm not looking at the original subdivision, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have it with me. There might have been another lot up there around the house.
So is this behind the trees? Where 1A, 2B, and 2C? Is that behind the
That's an
trees?
open field right now.
Yeah.
That's a hayfield. That's right down south side of the road.
Yeah. So lot 3 would be where all the barns in the house is at, or no?
all
No.
the green up here on the TV.
Yeah, that's all we're looking at right there that's 1-A, 1-2.B.
Yeah, you see the barn over there on the right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the lot 1, that's the lot 1A. 1A on this. Yeah, you see the little driveway that's there? Turn back on. Yeah, you see that, there's your 20-foot driveway right
Yeah.
there.
So, I mean, look, is there a levee right here? Is this a levee?
Not really. I mean, it might be, I can't remember, but it's not significant if there is anything.
John, does that feel that much higher than that road?
Yeah.
Well, that's grass there or whatever. I
There-
mean,
there were roads out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
There were ditches.
I wouldn't think so, I don't know how it could be.
When the farmer lets the water out, that goes under the water.
It's gonna flood worse with them ditches between the mountains.
So there's probably a levee, there's probably some remnant of a levee here, I'm assuming. And if there, you know, there are driveways that are added, I mean, ultimately, I think the natural drainage is this way. Some of that water will have to be pushed to the road ditch that never had that water before. And and it's kind of unavoidable. I mean, I'm not saying that but it can be avoided per se, but
I bet the water that floods that, it's not coming, it's not there, it's probably, it's further, it's just so flat.
Yeah.
I mean, the field on the north side of the road probably drains into it.
That's what Chad was saying, the whole road flooded.
You know, that's why it's flooding.
Yeah.
It's coming from the north.
Just about all our roads are that way. They've washed down so much over the years, they lowered in the fields.
We just cleaned that ditch too.
that's fine.
When they say over time,
Dust, people run down, mud,
that's what I'm saying.
running off. Winter,
Yeah, so like you said, that green area is
roads,
there.
winter
That's
rain.
the hayfield.
So my biggest concern in reviewing this one really is the 20 feet. And I don't know that our ordinance is clear enough on that. So, I mean, y'all may ultimately agree to move forward, but I think that just the talking points for if we clarify that in the ordinance in the future, if y'all want to say 60 foot or not.
I would say, you know, personally in the ordinance, I think we need to do a minimum of 60 foot.
I think it's in there. I mean, for the most part, I think it's
You know, I think you could do an exemption on this one, but I still think 20 is too small. I think you do 30 or 40 at least. And then you would say he would shrink those 1, 2C and 1, 2B a little bit. You know, I don't want him to, I mean, I understand his point. All he's needing is to get to that hay field, so he doesn't need a lot, but in the future, you know, whoever inherits that from him is not gonna be able to do anything with it.
unless it's 60 feet.
Yeah.
As far as getting a building permit to build it.
Right.
Suppose he wants to buy them a 12
I
foot.
mean, there's lots of land out there that nobody builds on, you know, it's never gonna be.
It'll always be a hay field, basically, or whatever, but.
Or sell it to the people in the front or whatever. So, yeah, whatever y'all say. I have no dog in that fight. But it's good for me to have guidelines for going forward, because I'm gonna see some more of this stuff.
Yeah, but so you got 5 and 5.
So you're at 10.
Yeah.
You're at 10.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm looking at it online.
Go down.
No.
I got enough for 20. I'm just saying.
Well, enough room to get over it for a rut coming out there.
So there's like 5 things a minor subdivision currently requires: the name, the address, the date, the north arrow, graphic scale, sketch of the location's drainage path to the Gulf of Mexico, 5-foot private drainage easements included on all the lot lines, and then they're, you know, reserving the road right of way and the utility and drainage easements. So that's currently what's called out for a minor subdivision.
Yeah, but it says subdivision lots fronting public road shall reserve a minimum 30-foot public road right-of-way and a 15-foot drainage and utility easement.
Yeah, and that's what it has, you know.
Yeah,
That's our-
that's along our road, right?
Right, so.
That's not along that lot line.
Right.
Right.
That's what it states.
Yeah, the 60-foot that I've been having to deal with has to do with the health unit. They're
Yeah.
the ones been making us go 60 feet
Right.
wide.
Right.
But that would also be conducive to a driveway. I mean, that would accommodate a driveway pretty well.
Yeah.
But y'all, to me, they have to do it for the health department, and if we had the same thing in our ordinance, well, it's very simple. If we just change it. That's what Ben is referring to.
I mean, he had asked me, and I thought it was 60 or 66 for the health. Wasn't
Yeah.
exactly
Well,
sure.
in town, I know you gotta have a 60-foot lot, right?
So, I mean, when I talked to Brock about this lot 1D, and, I mean, there's options of spray irrigation, which is zero discharge. So, there's not an impossible solution to sewer. Because it's a big lot.
But basically, if you got 5 foot of easement on each side of that, then that means you got a 10-foot road or driveway to get to your property in the back.
The only limitation on those is you can't build a structure on there. On the 5 foot,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It'll never be anything but a hayfield if we do it like the way it is right now.
Correct.
And maybe that's all they want, but,
And if it is ever sold, it's definitely gonna be a challenge to the new owner. If the new owner would wanna change that, they would have to,
This is Hillis Road.
they'd have to fix it.
yeah, and how do you fix it? You'd have to try to get land from those two people or that person, either the east side or the west side, one of the two. Lot 1-2C or.
Are we required to be 60, or they remove it from the minor subdivision? That's basically what's
Well, but
required.
the way it states is, and that's what Todd's saying, if he subdivides any of this, he's got to subdivide all of it, so.
My question is, looking at this map here, you got 60-foot right of way, the road itself, or 60-foot, that's a 30 and 30.
Well, 60 foot is 30 and
The
30.
middle of the road, 30 foot on both sides.
Right. Whether or not that had that are existing going forward, the person dividing, the owner has to dedicate it to the parish. So in that area, if it's not 60 feet already, or if it's not 30 feet on each side, at that point, the parish is gonna be gaining that additional right of way and utility easement at that point.
Well, okay, what I'm saying, so it says 60-foot right of way, but then a 30-foot offset, so that 30-foot offset is included in the 60-foot.
Well, it's on the line in this case. But see, I have a 25-foot offset over there.
Right.
All that offset means that's where I set a marker. That doesn't mean that's yours.
Yeah.
You have 30 feet, you're
But
going to
another
have
road,
30 foot. If you look way on the right-hand side, it has 30-foot right-of-way. You see that right here? That's yours now.
From the middle of the road,
Yes, from the center of the road.
30-foot in,
Yes.
that's the right of way.
That's right.
So I can put a post there at 30-foot mark, and I'm saying, see,
Well, it's
From
your
the
right
center,
to do whatever you
well, I'm
want.
just asking, I'm just saying, if I put a post, say I put a corner post at the 30-foot mark in the middle of the road,
Yeah.
that's the right of way, that's it. Okay, that's what I wanted to understand. But the 20,
Phileas Road is a 60-foot right of way?
No,
Will
in the subdivision it will be.
Oh, subdivision, okay.
Moving forward, any subdivisions, we're doing 60-foot right-of-ways in them.
Yeah,
We can't go back.
2009, it was a
Yeah,
50-foot.
right.
Before 2009, it was 50.
50 foot. We can't go back and change what was there, but
But as long as I've been doing these, I'm making 60.
60 feet. I mean, and this one's not up for approval yet, right?
No, Ben was just using
No,
it
I
as an
mean,
yeah, as an
example.
example.
All
Yeah.
the changes we need to change, make
Ultimate-
to our
yeah.
ordinances.
I mean, ultimately, it's gonna be on the June meeting unless y'all wanted to formally make a recommendation tonight, but y'all don't have to.
So Todd and I'm just asking, is Don gonna have a problem doing 60 feet there?
Well, I'm sure he's gonna question it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, why? It's my property, I can do what I want with it,
Yeah.
you know. As far as the field, if I don't wanna build a house on lot 1D, or if I don't wanna ensure that somebody can build a house on 1D, why do I have to ensure that somebody can build a house on 1D?
You gotta look at, yeah, I know, you gotta look
Yeah.
at the future. And I mean, I don't think for this one, because it's just that back there, I think our ordinance needs to continue to say 60 feet.
I agree.
Yeah,
But I think we can always do exceptions.
Can you do a variance?
Right,
Variance,
right.
exception,
Anytime.
yeah. We can do that at any time.
At any time. No
I just
matter, no
think-
matter what the ordinance
You need
says.
to go through, on CC Road, you got trees.
Even with this,
On the road,
I mean,
you got-
I think that 20 feet is not quite enough. I think, 30, 40, I think that's what this one should be, and we can do an exception or a variance for that. I mean,
What if the landowner comes to the June meeting and asks for this approval and maybe give the reasons why, and then just,
Sure. Put them on the June agenda, let them present
I
it.
mean, my only,
Let us ask questions.
is, I mean,
if y'all decide not to and y'all want to extend it, then it would delay it to the next month. Unless he wanted to voluntarily.
yeah, I mean, and I don't want to get into cost, but I mean, is that more cost to
Well,
him?
yeah, I'm gonna have to go back out there and move those lines,
Yeah.
I'm gonna charge him.
Yeah.
it's quick with that one.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, Ben.
So I guess for my clarity, is the intent for the ordinance committee to clarify in the ordinance that the lots would be, under normal circumstances, 60 feet, and anything less than that would be subject to variance,
Road frontage.
road frontage?
Yeah,
Is everyone good with that?
yeah, but then our surveyors need to know that and before you.
Right.
If you update the regulations, then it'll be in there all day.
Yeah, we would update the ordinance
Yeah,
to,
and then that way, because I mean, I don't want to,
Which is.
the worst thing we can do is cost them more money. But if it's in there, then you guys know, hey, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, they're not gonna approve it for less than 60 feet.
Right, exactly.
or let them come ax. If they want, if it's less than 60,
Right.
they always have the ability to come ax.
Anybody can come ask for a variance to our ordinance, and
Yeah.
all we do is say yea or nay.
But the problem there is then, if you grant one, you almost gotta grant them all. And, moving forward 60 feet, and we're not granting them. You either do it, or, hey, we'll turn it down.
Well, if it's in the
This is kinda
ordinance,
caught in
then
the
it
middle,
has to be.
basically.
But I mean, I'm speaking not as a surveyor, as just a concerned citizen. I don't see why you have to make it 60 feet. Because if I got a piece of land, I wanna sell the frontage, and I wanna keep the back 40 for my pasture, you gonna make me put a 60-foot right away all the way back past all those lots, just because I wanna get a horse trailer back, cattle trailer back there, or a tractor?
If they did,
I don't see why you gotta do that.
But then, yeah, and again, think about it, you don't plant a tree for shade today, you plant a tree for shade in the future. So,
and then that 60 foot, Todd, you wouldn't have to develop it, you'd just go through it.
I know what you're saying, so it's a y'all's decision.
I'll give you, for instance, right now, I know of property that I bought in 1990. There was no road, well, there actually was a road that ran right down there, but it wasn't our family that owned it. I had to get permission from all the property owners to be able to access their road and agree to upkeep their road. Well, down the line, I left, the family wanted to sell the back part of the property. The landowner refused to let them to have access on their road. It's a gravel road, Broussard Lane. They wouldn't let them have it. So the property owner had to sue the family for a right-of-way right next to the road on Broussard Lane, another right-of-way right next to that, to access that property. So I can see this causing a problem down the road. You know, not having that access, not having that right-of-way.
So the subdivision, I think, the idea is that if you divide property into small lots, it's gonna be used for houses, or, you know, it's not gonna be 1 acre lots for a tiny hayfield or a tiny
Right.
farm, so, I mean, I think the way it is, I mean, technically, I think, if it wasn't divided before, way in the beginning, they could have created lot 1D on the left, and they could have created area that remainder to the right, both being greater than 3 acres, and then they could have took the right half and then followed the subdivision ordinance. You know, and that would be someone's prerogative to do it. You know, they still have a method, but when it comes to dividing subdivision, I think it is a good idea, especially for little lots, probably for the intent of putting housing, that some minimum lot width is spelled out, you know? I mean, if it was like 58 or something and they wanted a variance, or, you know, whatever. I mean, they always have the right to come.
I think we're all in agreement that 60 is the.
You want court?
I think we're all in agreement it needs to be a minimum of 60, correct?
I
I think we need to go with 60 feet. What you think, Chad?
I think it's up to the owner. I mean, if he wants to
Ain't
get,
got no room for nothing else.
it's gonna cost him more money.
Yeah.
Well, that's just this time.
Yeah.
But you stop and think 60 foot, and you build that house 50 foot, you can't drive around with a Ferris on it.
What are you talking about?
Snapper.
It's done.
Snapper.
You better not have a 60 foot.
All right. So what's your next two suggestions,
I mean, I think I brought up the drainage. I really don't have a solution suggestion to present to y'all. I think this is something we need to be aware of. If something comes to mind that would be a good suggestion for the ordinance, I think I'd bring that to you. The other thing that I'd like for y'all to consider, maybe talk about, is this scenario of a compounding division where,
So y'all, what Ben was suggesting is that we not, in any new subdivision we approve, that we're not creating conditions where the main natural drainage, the majority of the water, is forced across a newly established lot created by the subdivision. So basically what he's suggesting is we want to keep the natural drain basically as intact as possible. Am I correct, Ben?
that is correct.
And I'll give you an example. My father had a natural drain to our back pasture, okay? They sold the property owner behind us, sold the property, stopped up the natural drain. We had to reroute all of our drainage because that property owner refused to unstop it. So not messing with the natural drainage is very wise. I mean, in my personal opinion.
But there, I mean,
If you have to, you have to.
you know, I mean, you can't, I don't know, I mean, I don't know how to say it, but you can't block natural drainage.
Correct.
It never is. But sheet flow across, I mean, you know, sheet flow going across 100 acres, if you subdivide 50 acres of it, I mean, you're gonna change the natural drainage. I mean, there's no two ways about it, and that's what's happening out there, is we've got farmland that was formed for years, and, you know, parts of it is sold off, and it's subdivided or whatever. I mean, it's turned into small portions of land.
I don't know, Ben, I think when we're doing all these subdivision approvals, the more we can not block the natural drainage and keep it as is, I think the better off we are. Okay. And I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go back to clarifying minor, number 3.
The minor is five or less. I don't really think this comment applies to this one, but it just, again, it brings it to the surface, is maybe clarifying something in there about, in the definition, that once it's divided into 5, you can't go to lot 1 and redivide it in 5 again. And that would be technically a minor, what's it called, a small
So then we cannot,
a
basically,
small subdivision, because you would be effectively making 6 lots of the, you know, you wouldn't be technically making 5 at that point. You would be dividing something that was already divided. I just don't want someone to go take 100 acres, divide it into 5, then divide that one, each one of those into 5, and
so
then
once it's.
over and over again till
divided,
it got to,
is it-
you know,
What's the minimum?
huh?
What's the minimum? Before you're saying what is
Well,
divided.
no, they're creating a minor subdivision, and once it's created as a minor subdivision, they can't come back and say, I've got this minor subdivision, and I wanna
Take one of
redivide
those
it into
lots.
another minor subdivision.
So what's the minimum of the lot as of acreage wise or footage wise?
Well, when you go over 5, you have a little bit more stringent things when it comes to drainage.
5 acres.
But if you're asking if
5,
there's a minimum
more
of
than 5
acres,
lots,
yeah, more than 5 lots.
when you have more than 5 lots. So there's very minimum drainage requirements for 5 or less. There's a little bit more drainage requirements for between 6 and like 25, and then there's a lot of requirements if it's over 25.
And that's number of lots.
Number of lots,
Lots.
yeah,
Yes.
right,
Measuring lots.
right.
But I mean, you know, I mean, basically though, if you take 100-acre plot of land and you divide it into 5, then that's 25 acres. And then you come back and you divide that into another 5.
Right.
I mean, there's gotta be some, I can see if you're taking 10 acres and dividing it into 5, and then you're taking those 5 and dividing them, each one into 5. Yeah, there's gotta be a limit there, but, I mean, you can't, you know, I don't think you can take 100 acres and say, well, you can only divide it once into 5.
Well, yeah, it's probably I guess once it's divided into less than 3 acres.
Okay.
So say it's, you divide them all into 2-acre lots, you get a subdivision approved, and then you take one of those 2 acres and you try to make 5 lots out of 2 acres.
Yeah, no, that,
So if you bought,
as long as you're
That's a
talking
better, I'm sorry, that's a
that,
much
yes.
better example.
Yeah,
if you
okay.
bought 20 acres, you should have a right, if you wanna sell one, somebody else could.
Yeah, well, I
Or
think,
divide it into 2s, you know,
Right.
2 acres.
You-
I
right,
think
there's,
what Ben just said, we need to have something in there that states, once it's been divided into less than 3 acres, it cannot be.
Right, okay,
Divided
yes, so
again.
if you're talking that, then yes.
yes, I'm sorry.
But don't, yeah.
Because
I
right now,
mean-
there's nothing in there that said they couldn't come back and divide it again.
Amount of property is gonna be, right?
Well, no, because I mean, if you know, look at city lots, I mean, they're, you know, their minimum, I mean, it's whatever, 170 by 40 or whatever, you know,
It's-
so,
yeah.
because if you think about it, all this at one time was farmland, and then they divided it into city lots.
I can see it.
Correct. But like I say, but he can't, so nothing, I'm saying as a minimum,
They bought 10 acres.
once it's divided into that minimum what it is, it cannot be divided again.
Right,
So like, if the subdivision says, okay, the HOA says we can't have no less than 3 acres. Well, somebody can't sell an acre and have a 2-acre piece, and then somebody else have 4 acres, no, you have to have a minimum
yeah.
of that amount. So it can't be divided again.
Well, sanitation,
2 acres or less, that would
That's
it
what I'm saying.
they can't 2 acres or less where they can't re-subdivide.
Re-subdivide,
If they
yeah.
find
They're not
5 or 10 acres, they ought to have a right to at least do 1, and maybe 2 on 10 acres.
And, yeah, I mean, we've got these true subdivisions that are coming up where they bought 40, 50, 60 acres and they're dividing it into city lots, basically. Even though they're not in the city, but.
So you don't wanna say less than 2? If somebody's got 3 and they still wanna subdivide it into 2 or 1, you'd have to say the minimum is 2 then. Once it goes 2, it can't be subdivided again.
I think.
Well, I think,
But I mean, you got 1 acre lots.
Right.
It protects somebody's farmland, if they wanna sell it.
so I,
They can't.
yeah, I'm not saying we couldn't allow it to be subdivided again. I'm saying, I'm recommending that if it gets divided, it's at 2 acres or whatever number y'all decide, and you want to divide it again into 5, that you would have to follow like the next level of requirements, the small subdivision requirements.
Yeah,
See, like,
I can
Bear
see
Crossing, they 4 acres. It's
Not technically a subdivision of 5 because it's original parent lot that got divided into little 2 acres. You're technically over 5. So this one really doesn't, I don't know if this one really falls in that category because it was 3 lots and now we're at 4, so we're still under 5. I really don't know that that applies in this situation. I'm not worried about it, but it just brought something to light that,
It brought some things to light that need to be clarified in our ordinance, so
Yeah.
so we can move forward.
so.
but I mean, there's 1 acre lots out there. That people are selling off. They have 5 acres and now
Right.
they're dividing it into
Right.
5.
And that would be fine. And they could do a 10 acre and divide it into 5 2 acre lots. But that original 10, if you let them subdivide compounded, 5 at a time, a 10 acre lot divided 5 the first time and then 5 more of those 2 acre lots into 0.2 acre lots, that would be 25 lots,
Well, then when that happens, it becomes a
small subdivision.
small subdivision, not
That's
you're no longer subdividing the property, you're making a subdivision.
And
Where you're
that's
putting
probably the intent of this, but I just wanted to kind of probably just make it clear.
Because I think that's part of the issue too, is you have subdivision of property and you have a subdivision.
Right.
There's 2 different thought processes there, so, if you're subdividing the property into 25 lots, then that's a subdivision, that's not just, we're dividing it into 2 acres or 3 acres or 5 acres or whatever, so.
The subdivision is in Hathaway, north of Coal Road. What's the size of each one of them? Or is it stacked on top of each other?
Yeah, see, that's where you get,
That's where it becomes a
The
small
subdivision.
subdivision.
And
A
that
minor
is-
subdivision is mostly just families are dividing their property to
Yeah,
give it to a
yeah,
sibling or
yeah.
something. When it becomes into a small subdivision, that's the kind of subdivisions you're talking about, the
Yeah.
bigger ones.
And major subdivisions.
yeah,
And
that's
major
where you
subdivisions with all
have
those
25 lots or 50 lots or
Correct.
whatever, yeah.
So back to the sanitation requirements, it's 60 feet road frontage, minimum of 12,500 square feet, I believe. And then the state has a minimum of 120, and I think it's 22,000 square feet, which is right around a half acre. But according to Brock, the parishes have the authority under that revised statute to adopt the sanitation code and reduce it to the 60 and 12,500 square feet.
But you see, like that subdivision you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, they have their own treatment plant. All those houses go to one centralized collection point. It's not,
Correct.
they're not
Yeah.
individual septic
Right.
systems. And that's, again, I think that's part in our ordinance where when it hits that number of, let's say 50 units, not 50 subdivisions, but
Right.
50 units or 25 units, they have to provide some type of sewer system.
I think that's in the major where it's over 25.
It's in the major.
Yeah,
That's all the time.
so,
It comes through the curves.
I mean, that ordinance, when it was developed and modified and remodified and all, I mean, that was a nightmare when we were doing it, but
She gave me a few something.
Okay,
I could type up a couple suggested edits to the ordinance in red line, and we could present it at next ordinance
I
meeting or
moved that
something.
we let Ben do that. and-
correct. He wanted us to
Second.
bring up these items for
Second that
discussion.
motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Ladies, did y'all get that? All right, y'all, item number 2, we need to briefly discuss the child at play signage on parish roads. We've had it suggested, there's an email in your packet with a description from Ben about child at play signs. They were brought up at being requested that we put them out at a previous unit maintenance meeting. I'll let Ben describe it more. Basically, in summary, they're unsupported by national standards and could create some unintended risks for both drivers and kids. So we need to discuss if we still want to allow them or not. So Ben, I'll let you
Okay.
discuss briefly what you had sent out to all of us.
So, I mean, if you want to read all the details, I have it there, but in general practice, they're not a sign that's recognized by any national standards, like Corey said. They are out in the field and they're used, but, and I'm not saying that we have to put a prohibition on them completely, but I think they should be used very cautiously. And there's studies on these signs, but it can, the basic underlying reason that these are promoted not to be used, generally speaking, because it creates a false sense of security for the kids, and it's a message that they may misinterpret that a street is a place for play. And so I know there's a desire for tools to slow people down on roads. Coming with a transportation background, I think number one, speed limit signage. Another tool that's used sometimes is feedback signs. These signs that are on trailers that you put on the side of the road. If you're exceeding the speed limit, it may flash at you. It may give you your feedback speed limit. But it also collects data, and it shows what the actual motorists are doing, what speeds they're doing, what time of day. And a lot of law enforcement agencies are using these trailers, and they're seeing maybe between 3:30 and 4 o'clock, there's a lot of speed violations. And so they don't have the manpower to sit on that road all day long, but they can pinpoint that 30-minute window that most of those speed violations are occurring and kind of address those particular motorists. So
That's a good idea.
I just wanted to throw that out there. That's a tool. It's not the perfect solution, but I mean, something we could, they're not cheap, but they are affordable as well. I don't know if the sheriff's office has any of those, or we could coordinate with them or team up with them, or I don't know, but
They did have it.
There's one on Interstate right there by the bridge to the west of Welsh that every day I get a.
there was one in Hathaway for a long time.
No, it just says it.
I haven't had
So I think they have a couple of them. And so, and it shows to the constituents that something is being attempted to try to slow motorists down. It's very visible, and they shouldn't stay in a location for very long. They really should be rotated throughout the parish, and because you can get accustomed to those trailers, So, I mean, if the jury feels very compelled to put a child slow play at sign, we will put one up. But there's a lot more to just putting up one randomly, so.
But I do think when you have a constituent that asks you to please put a sign up, we need to do that. I mean, I'm not saying we put them up in every area, but
And y'all, that's how the discussion came about. The next item on our agenda, one was requested on a parish road at a recent unit maintenance meeting. So that is when Ben researched it, and that's what has sparked the discussion.
I know they had one in Roanoke for a while, by the school.
oh, yeah,
I'd go
I
back.
mean,
yeah,
Yeah,
when
I
we
haven't
get
had
to the
several.
next,
That's the state, though.
our next.
You talking about the
meeting-
trailers?
yeah, the trailers. Normally,
Yeah.
on Highway 90 in Roanoke, at the start of every school season for the last 10 years, whatever, they put a sign up. I assume it's state DOTD, I don't think.
No,
Sheriff Department.
no, it's the sheriff's
He
department.
put
Okay.
two of them at 50.
Do you know if they have a camera on those? Takes a picture of the license plate after they pass?
I bet you there's some that
That's a
do.
private firm.
I bet, but I, you know, that, you know, using that to go back and find them, I don't think it's, you know,
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
but,
But y'all, do you want to go ahead and continue putting them up for now as requested and explore using the speed feedback signs instead that we're discussing?
If this
For the
is
ship.
misleading, I don't think we're gonna waste the money.
And then most of our damn roads so damn narrow, you can't get no place to put it.
I think if you have a request from a juror to put one up, that we do.
Yeah.
And that comes from, somebody
It
telling
comes from a
him or her.
juror, it comes from a constituent, yes.
I had a request for 25-mile-an-hour speed limit from 383
So-
back east 1 mile.
yeah, I think the next thing is the speed limit requirements. The speed limit requests that were noted in the,
In Division, on the Division 2 thing, is that speed limit sign, was it stolen maybe, or are we replacing one?
No, it'd be a new one.
It would
It's
be
been
a new one.
35, but its house is all
Guys,
over.
real quick, before we move to item number 3. So for now, I'm understanding, Ben has brought the research to us, we are well aware about the national standards, but at this time, we want to continue putting up child at play signs as our constituents request them.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Okay, so that's how we will continue to do that. So, but we are aware of what Ben presented to us.
Okay.
Okay, motion, or item number 3, excuse me. We have a list of things we need to review from the last unit maintenance meeting. The first one, if you look at your list, is Division 1, is Sun Gilot Road. It says speed limit signs or child at play signs. There is not a current speed limit in our ordinance for that road. It's roughly 1/4 of a mile. We just said we want to continue child at play signage, so we will have a child at play signage put on that road. Do we also want to put a speed limit on that road as well?
Oh, yeah.
Do y'all know who requested it? Which juror? Randy, which juror asked about that? Did they want child at play and speed, or either or?
Wayne asked about it, one of the ladies that lives in the back seat when you got the door, requested a speed limit sign. It's not in here, we have nothing. Her main request was, the main person that was speeding was the middle person. So the rest of the people was against the 5 mile an hour, which that would probably be like Monty Drive, Zonebreaker,
So she's wanting both signs? Or she just wanting children at play signs to slow down the mailman?
I just remember the speed limit right there, and it was posted to the mail lady. So I'd say we talk to the mail lady, or we put it 5 miles an hour. If the mail lady slows down, I don't think it would ever run up.
Can we send a letter to the postmaster and say, officially saying, hey, dude,
well, there's no speed limit sign there, so I don't think it's a bad idea to establish a speed limit
Yes.
for that road.
One.
And,
What speed limit would they like?
That road right there would probably be a 10.
Okay, do you want to go with 10? Is that good with everybody?
How long is the road?
Ashley Drive.
1/4 of a mile.
15, Kenwood Drive 50.
So do y'all want to put
in the city
15?
limits, residential areas are 25.
25.
Yeah.
Here's how close the driveways are too, the stop
Yeah.
places.
yeah,
Well, we'll definitely put a child at play sign, because it was requested, so what speed limit sign would y'all like to put on that road?
How long is this that you wanna put it?
For the
10
mile.
miles?
Quarter mile.
Quarter mile.
In that distance,
Walker, if subdivision 15, it seems like
25
a
to
pretty
15, I probably, I mean, that's up to Ben, but, Ashley Drive, you know where Ashley Drive is? Right there with the old quick stop across from CM Davis,
Yeah.
that was 15. And Sonny's a little longer. I think 20 is probably too fast.
15's probably good.
15 ain't bad, Harper's got that.
Let's go
Yeah.
with 15.
No, actually, the subdivisions have 20, Ron. All subdivisions are 20.
Okay.
Well, can I have a motion for us to place a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit on that road? David
I'll move.
motions,
I'll second.
Tim seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Y'all, in Division 2, they would like a 35-mile-per-hour sign on Abbey Fontenot Road between Highway 383 and the first stop sign / intersection. So according to our ordinance, Abbey Fontenot Road, the speed limit on Abbey Fontenot Road specifically between Leger Road and DeWolf Road is 35 miles per hour. The road extends from 383 to 165. So, do we just want to set a speed limit on the entire road?
I'd like to get it from 383 for a mile, 25 miles an hour, and then leave the rest at 35. There's not that many houses there.
Yeah, so you're just saying where the houses are,
Right.
basically?
For the first
I
mile.
think there's 14, I counted
from
14 houses
383 each
along
for
So
one
from
mile.
there. A mile,
383,
yeah, a mile and
east.
3/4.
Because they
you
built
want
it
it to
up
be at what speed limit?
every Fontenot Road.
Yeah, but
From
385 east.
383 east,
Uh-huh.
1 mile.
25 miles an hour is what you
Right.
asked for, and you wanted 35
The
after
rest
that.
remainder. I think it's already at 35 mark.
Yes, in the ordinance it is.
Yeah.
Y'all, so Mr. Byron is suggesting that
That's what you did.
the statement currently in our ordinance for 35 miles per hour for that portion of the road remains, and that we add a statement that says Abbey Fontenot Road from Highway 383 east for 1 mile, the speed limit shall be at 25 miles per hour.
And that catches all the houses?
Yeah.
Okay? So do I have a
It's some more
motion?
down there, but they spaced.
Okay.
Byron, do you want to make that motion like I just stated? Do I have a second? Mr. Bill seconds. Everyone in favor? Thank you.
So then,
Ladies.
the speed limit's established for the entire road from 383 to, so it's 30, the entire road is 35 except for that first mile is 25.
Correct. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Corey, I did a poor job, I think, last meeting. I think this is a perfect example of where we put revoke in conflict here with a statement like that when we do these speed limits, so that whatever speed limit the ordinance committee votes on, we put a comment like that and it supersedes anything, whether or not we have a document or not, it clearly states this is the new speed limit here moving forward. And it revokes anything that may have been, that we have record of or don't have record of, so,
So we're gonna have two different speed limits on that road?
yes.
So don't we need a sign ahead of time, same speed limit coming up ahead will be dropped?
You can put a warning sign a little way before.
Typically, it's required if it's over, if it's 15 or greater, but, you know,
Yeah, you're not dropping from 55 to 35. so-
Right.
Yeah, we're only having a 10-mile.
Yeah.
That's this 1 mile stretch, right?
Get it done that. You hit
Okay.
50.
Okay, so
No
y'all,
warning, then it's 40. You better be slowed down.
next item, Division 3. It was requested that we place a no-through trucks signs on Oilfield Road between Highway 90 and the frontage road. It says the trash trucks are damaging the road, using it as a shortcut. I don't think there's any restrictions presently in our ordinance regarding that
They're
road. So,
supposed to use the
Bill,
service road.
go for it.
Right, Ben, you only have board,
I'll make
designate
a
for the
motion.
service road.
You make a motion that we do that for
Right.
this road?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a bridge right there also that's in pretty bad shape, so I mean, they're taking a chance.
So basically, if we just, the more they do it, the more damage we're gonna end up with.
And that's from 90 to the interstate, basically.
Right.
Y'all, Mr. Bill has made a motion that we put the no-through truck sign on Oilfield Road from Highway 90 to the frontage road. Do I have a second? Mr. David seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Can we notify the sheriff of that so that he can kind of patrol that? Because, I mean, the sign's not gonna stop him until they stop a few people.
So these will go through the ordinance process, so it'll have to go through the meeting approvals,
Yeah.
and we'll have to put out a notice.
Is it too late to add a speed limit sign? When I got here this afternoon, James Colville on Constance Road called. He'd been having a lot of speeders, and there's no speed limit sign on that road.
Is that Division 3?
Yes, it is.
I'm
Okay.
gonna look
Okay,
up,
that is a speed limit, that's 35, so the signs are probably going when we have that
It is a speed
piece of
limit.
implement that took down everything.
Okay,
So
they
that's
called the
35.
sheriff's department, and the sheriff told them that there was no speed limit sign, so they couldn't give us a ticket.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to put up the signs on Constance, so we'll be on there.
Damn signs, it's not big equipment.
That's all I think.
For the minutes, there's already a speed limit established for that road, the sign is just not there.
So there is a speed limit currently established for Constance Road, there's just no signs?
I guess, but I
What
never
was,
said
what did speed limit was he requesting, Mr. Bill?
35.
And that's what it is.
I'm looking, spell Constance, make sure I spell it right.
Constance?
Correct.
Am I correct? I thought so.
I don't see it in our on our Municode so if we could just, if the committee wouldn't mind just making it official and we can add it as an
So
official
now
ordinance.
Mr. Bill makes a motion that the speed limit on Constance Road be at 35 miles an hour. Do I have a second? Mr. Byron seconds. Everyone in favor? Motion passes. Oh, Tim seconds, okay. So, okay, that is everything on today's agenda for ordinance.
I have one more.
Never mind, go ahead, Randy.
Hayden Road turned into a blacktop. And when I started here, I found this very limited speed limit roads that we had. So Renee and I started adding them to it. So there's some roads, I don't see Peyton nowhere in our ordinance of having a speed limit.
Spell it?
Payton. Now, it could be in there. It used to be called Guillory Road. So when y'all did all these speed limits way back, I found this from 92, the parish roads used to have numbers. So I'm still in the process of corresponding these numbers with the names of the roads. But I did get a request for somebody for Peyton.
They just paved it not long ago. It used to be after paving 9, you made.
What division is that?
George,
3.
they named it after it.
That's in,
So it says 35 miles an hour according to our
You found it?
yeah.
Okay.
so they need to put a sign.
Old Ben must know how to use that computer.
So there's
I'm trying, Byron.
There's another request there too, Ben. There's a person on the corner of Guillory. Their horses are always getting out. They're requesting some livestock and barn signs.
Where's that?
Always getting out.
Hayden Road going out of Welch.
We're not supposed to
Well,
get it.
why don't they fix their fence?
We don't have to
We
wait
got
for it.
we got a livestock board on there, do is pick them up.
I don't know if it's not him that's requesting. I don't know.
I don't think we can do that.
No, we don't have, I mean, we don't allow livestock at large.
No,
Start
they
putting
pick
those
them
kind
up,
of
take them
signs
to the
in.
kinder sale barn.
Livestock that be on the road, or like the deer crossings, or the duck
Yeah.
crossings, that
No.
cross
I see that as
some
the
roads
deer
we
crossing.
have.
You haul the
Exact
kids,
deal.
they keep them a week, if they ain't.
That's
they
wild,
sell
so
them.
these are not wild, like,
Let's make sure they understand that the children that play signs are not for the children to play on the road. The children that play sign is just to warn the people that there are children in the area. If you put livestock at large, that means they're roaming the roads.
Livestock
Yeah,
law
free
is
range.
large, it can't go
I do
nowhere.
not think we need to install those signs. Is everybody in
They
agreement?
just close to that.
I mean, if they wanna buy one themselves and put it up just a warning,
See, it's happening.
They are, feel free, but but I would say,
I think it's the commercial now that gets out and they hear that if there's a sign and somebody hits it, it can't sue.
No,
and he don't wanna fix his fence, okay.
Yeah.
So we will not
All
install
our
those
stuff,
livestock at
read
large
that
storage.
They can't go and build yours.
35 mile an hour, people? Okay, I'm scared to ask again. Anything else?
do we have an ordinance, no shooting off parish roads or bridges? Shooting guns.
That's state law. And if you
We need to put a sign on Broadmoor Road then, Broadmoor Ditch.
they shoot off the Munger
Yep, and it
Road Bridge,
ricochets and
and
it's
if
hitting
I
houses.
catch them, I call the
Hey,
sheriff.
Randy,
But
Oh, really? Can we put on there your own video too?
so do we, okay, so no shooting off the bridges. Do we want to add that signage to the Broadmoor? Exactly.
I mean, that's.
Y'all, the only thing I can say is call the sheriff if you
They're
catch
hitting
them.
houses, it's ricocheting off the water, hitting houses on 26.
I call the sheriff when they shoot, not the
Yeah,
one on
have them
Munger.
call the sheriff or the.
And I tell the
wildlife
sheriff to come
official.
tell them stop.
Ricochet off the houses.
It's ricocheting off the
Hitting
water.
house
Yeah.
On 26, we look at it.
Because they shoot off the Birkin Road one, they shoot off the Munger Road one, it's like they come sight their guns in. I don't know.
No, they, ricocheting.
Bill's got some.
What you got?
We had done this years ago, whenever, you know, mentioned the
you need some help.
wildlife and fisheries, I'm sorry. We had paid for some cameras and batteries
Yes, sir.
for them to, they were supposed to put them on the
We
roads
gave them about $3,500 to buy 2 cameras.
to take care, help us take care of a lot of the littering, they throwing stuff in the drain ditches and what have you off the bridges. Has anybody kind of looked after that?
I don't think we ever found out anything from us.
No, I mean,
I thought he said we have to request it.
Thought we
No.
got-
no, but
thought
they,
we called
said-
it.
I'm talking about request.
We asked them to let us
Location.
know where they're gonna put them in the parish, and they ain't never did it, but we helped them buy it.
well, I didn't think they were gonna tell us where they put them.
No,
But
they
That's good.
they have brought people to court.
Yeah.
I mean.
Y'all, I know there's gotta be one somewhere around by where I live, because that wildlife and fishery truck, if there's something not, you know, if they've been having problems, I see them pass. And it's because they're taking care of
I'll tell you
something.
one thing about it.
I don't know where it's at, but I have one somewhere by
They
me.
find a name, they gonna pick them up.
Yeah,
That's good. They like that, they say use the ticket.
But, would y'all like us to follow up with wildlife and fisheries and see if they can provide us some more information?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll have his number. I'll send it to you.
It's a team.
David, hey, Randy, talk about wildlife and fish.
I'll let y'all.
It's a team.
We passed ordinance about our bridge, no fishing and no boating. You're supposed to got some signs, put them in TV Tower Road and then.
There's a motion on the
No one
table.
put up.
There's a motion on the table.
Motion to adjourn.
I moved already. A
Yeah,
motion to adjourn.
Tim has, if there's nothing else that we need to discuss, Tim has moved to be adjourned, Mr. David has seconded that motion. All in favor? Gentlemen, thank you so much, and ladies, I appreciate it.
Thank you.